so
I'm
please
going
don't
live.
vote against them. If you're seated
You're
in the second
live.
or third car,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you look overhead, you'll notice some yellow strips running the length of the coach. If you or someone near you should experience an emergency, please stand up and press one of these strips until you get. They're marvelously adapted to hit those top speeds. But I think one of their most wonderful adaptations is in their feet. Did you know a cheetah's paw is more similar to your dog's paw?
A cheetah named Timmy.
That's right. Their feet are specifically adapted to enable them to run forward very fast. You see, all other cats sneak up on their prey and pounce on it, whereas cheetahs are the master of running their prey down. Well, it probably won't surprise you to know we're wildly successful in breeding cheetahs at the safari park. We've had over 150 born here. And if you're looking out to the left, you're looking across the East Valley of the African Plains. That's about 120 total acres of open rangeland for our Rothschild and reticulated giraffes. Many of our southern white rhinos live over here on this side of the hill.
Where are we live?
Thompson's gazelle. I see some East African crowned crane up there on the hill. And we're going to see a lot more of those East Valley animals on our way back in. But if you're looking off to the right, you might notice one of our flocks of flamingos. These are greater flamingo from Africa, and you know it's their breeding season, so I have to keep my voice low. But they've already laid over 80 eggs, and we can't wait to see how many hatch.
Recording on YouTube.
If you look all the way back against the fence in the
I'm
corner,
doing a live right now.
you can see those marvelous nests they built. They mound up dirt in the shape of a volcano, and then they deposit their eggs in the top of that nest to keep them out of the water.
No, YouTube live.
Of all those other flamingos. Hey, you know what we call a flock of flamingos? A flamboyant.
Oh my God, it's too soon.
You
Flamboyant.
see why? They're pretty flamboyant. All those red colors and everything. And did you know they get those colors from what they eat? That's right, tiny crustaceans and algae that they ingest impart a mineral to their body that turns their normally white feathers, those beautiful shades of
I'm
red.
doing a live.
Why, if one of those red feathers were to fall out, it would turn white. Well, we've crossed through that first set of predator gates, and now we're in the South Valley. You know, you can only see this part of the safari park from the Africa Tram Safari or from a cart safari. Now, this first holding yard to the right, I see at least two of our southern white rhino females. When I come to a complete stop like this, you're welcome to stand up to get a little better view. When we start in motion, please return to your seats, but you're welcome to stand up to get a little better view. And actually, I'm seeing all 6 of these female southern white rhinos over here. You know, this is the front holding yard of our brand new Nikita Khan Rhino Rescue Center.
Oh, never mind.
These 6 southern white females are participating in the most critical conservation program ongoing in the world today. You know, there's less than 14,000 of these beautiful southern white rhinos left in the world today. But they have a cousin, the northern white rhino. Does anybody know how many northern white rhinos are left? 3. That's right, there are only 3 northern white rhinos left in existence on planet Earth today. All 3 of those rhinos live in Africa under a 24-hour-a-day armed guard. And unfortunately, they are unable to reproduce. But the good news is, our world-famous conservation scientists, veterinarians, rhino keepers, and geneticists are working as we speak to bring the northern white rhino back from the brink of extinction. If you're looking off to the left, we're now looking across the southern valley of the African Plains, and that's about 150 total acres of open rangeland. And we're looking across a microcosm of African habitats, standing bodies of fresh water like lakes, rivers and streams that flow into those lakes, marshlands and wetlands that surround those rivers and streams. Lush granite walls way up to the mountains. Off to the right, semi-desert, all the amazing mountains that fill those unique niches. Well, you know, we are crazy about babies here at the World Safari Park. And of course, we're expecting another population explosion this year, just like we have every year. Check out one of our ostriches over here got up off of her clutch of eggs. I see at least 6 eggs. Ostrich eggs over there. Amazing. What a productive mom. I hope every one of those ostrich eggs.
Oh, the eggs. There's eggs up there, guys.
Of course, the ostrich is the largest bird in the world. Can weigh over 200 pounds. And I'm sure glad they can't fly. But you know, they can run over 40 miles an hour. So they can giddy up and go when they want to. If you look off to the right as we crest this hill, you might catch a glimpse of some of our Grevy's zebra herd. They're over here in this area with some males of several different antelope species. You know, spring is the time for love. And with many of our animals, only one male gets to be the guy.
Let me look over there.
So to keep them from having altercations, some of the other bachelors get to spend their time over here with the zebra. Zebras are a very dominant animal, and they get their own space because ordinarily they might boss around some of our more peaceful.
There's a bone. There's some bones out there.
This exhibit to the right is usually a great example of a marshy area of Africa. And we actually have 6 species of African birds in this exhibit, but I only see the western Bell's vultures right now. That's those brown and white feathered birds over there in the shade. Notice their really long necks, but very sparse feathers. We also have lappet-faced vultures in here, and blue crane, and the Goliath
Look at the
heron.
people down there near a rhino.
You know, vultures get a bad rap, but they play a critical role in the environment and their community by consuming all of that carrion. They actually consume 70% of all the decaying animal matter. By doing that, they keep in check outbreaks of dangerous diseases like rabies and anthrax and tuberculosis. Off to the left, I see a rhino. Boy, he's got him a nice big mouthful.
The rhino
of
over there, guys.
delicious Australian acacia leaves. They sure do love those Australian acacia leaves. That's Eric. He's a 6-year-old. He's a full-grown 6-year-old black rhino. You can actually see his upper lip from here. And if you can see his upper lip, notice how that it's long and pointed.
Look at all those.
Because black rhinos are browsers. They wrap that lip around a branch and strip all the leaves off. White rhinos, on the other hand, are grazers. They eat grass right off of the ground. So off to the right, you might notice our cute little family of Red River hogs. And we also know these guys as the bush
That's a
pigs.
hog. Hogs. Hey, that's just like Clash of Clans
I'm not
hog
sure there's a
raiders.
cuter
I
pig
hate
than those
hogs.
bush pigs.
I love hogs.
You know, they use those marvelous shovel-like snouts to dig up the earth for looking for tubers and roots and snails. But you know, they'll also eat small reptiles and even rodents and bird eggs because, just like us, those bush pigs are omnivorous. That's right, they'll eat just about anything they can
There's
get
a
their
rhino.
snout on.
What are they called again?
Some treat.
You know, there's something that
Omnivorous.
all the mammals we're seeing today have in common. Let's see if we can figure
Now
that
there's
out.
more animals over there
All
we can't
animals
really
have
see right
legs
now.
and eyes
That
and
we'll be able to be seen right now.
brains.
Oh, there's another ostrich over
There's
there.
one unique adaptation that all of the mammals
And
we're
then
seeing
you
today
got another
have
one
in
over
common.
there. You got some people over there helping.
Wow, way up there on the hill, we got a bunch of different species of antelope up there, don't we? I see the wildebeest, I see
Oh, there's
the
another ostrich
water
under the
buck,
tree.
and
Oh, there's some giraffe.
springbok. And
Where?
we're going to see each and every one of those guys a little closer.
Quarter giraffe.
Ooh, here's one of our beautiful Maasai giraffes. All the giraffes in the Southern Valley are Maasai giraffe. Whoops. He heard me talking about him, so he came to a stop. That's right, Maasai giraffes are the largest of the giraffe species, with adult males often reaching over 18 feet in height.
How you doing,
Hey,
giraffe?
while this giraffe's walking,
doing down
notice
there?
that he moves both his legs on the same side
What
of
are
his
you
body at the
doing?
same time.
Stop.
He'll move both his left legs
You
and
stop.
both his right leg
Why are you
at the same
doing?
time. Unlike most animals who have an opposing gait, If the giraffe used an opposing gait, those big
Oh, he's
hooves
posing.
would bang right into each other.
He's posing. Take a picture,
Well, there I
y'all.
see a lone wildebeest marching across the Serengeti, the beautiful
Oh, look at
green
him.
grass.
Right
See
there.
another one of our ostriches back there in the shade.
Look.
I know.
You know, there's over 70 species of antelope in Africa,
Oh,
and only one
antelope.
species of deer. So, if you're tempted to call an
There's
African
another one by the
animal
rock.
some kind of deer, I would guess that was an antelope. Of those antelope, you can categorize them as horse-like antelope
there's another
or
giraffe over there.
cattle-like antelope.
There's
Look
more
at this
giraffes
beautiful
over there.
chestnut brown antelope to our left. That's the sable antelope. And sable, the word sable actually refers to the particular color of brown that its coat is. You know, the sable is the perfect
Oh, it's
example
running,
of
guys.
horse-like
It's running.
antelope.
Run, giraffe, run. Hey, that bro, what's up?
I think sable are amazing. You know, they're one of the lion's very favorite entree items. But even so, there are documented instances of sables turning on pursuing lions and killing them.
Door.
A very
There's more giraffes
formidable
over there.
antelope. When you see them run, it
There's some
reminds you
antelope
of a
right there by
horse.
the
They
rock.
run very fast. They're very limber and nimble. They can turn
Only
sharp
door.
corners. A couple more of our young male Maasai giraffes out
I got
there.
really poor connection now because I'm in this.
Hey, did you know that a giraffe has 1 inch of tongue for every foot of height?
Only
So an 18-foot tall giraffe, this guy over to our left is probably about 16 feet tall. That 16-foot tall giraffe has a 16-inch long tongue. Oh, and look at this beautiful lavender antelope to our left. Notice there's one that's not lavender. She or he is still tan. It's a baby. And
Oh,
it
there's
hasn't
a
yet
baby
developed
right
that beautiful
there.
lavender color.
Where?
That's the South African oryx.
under.
And oryx is another word for antelope. We also know these guys by their
Oh,
African
there's
name, the Gemsbok.
There's a baby one.
Of course, it won't surprise you to know we're wildly successful at breeding the Gemsbok here.
Anybody join the group? He's
We're
right
wildly
there.
successful at breeding giraffes
cute.
as well. We've had over 140 giraffes born here. And here we go. This fella
should've
here
just
is
done a
showing us
video.
how he
I see
walks
the
with both
blue
legs at the same time, a little more effectively than the other guy.
Bro, what doing?
I love those giraffes. They're both graceful and gangly, all in the same step.
They got a comment. Got these ones.
If you're looking off to the left,
We got one person watching.
you're seeing a big, dark, black,
Ruby.
brown
Donkeys!
buffalo, and that's the second most
Now we're
dangerous
gonna see
animal
donkeys,
to
bro.
man
Hey?
in Africa. Second only to the hippopotamus. And they're
What?
dangerous.
Hippopotamus?
for the
Listen,
same
hi,
reason.
that looks
They're
dope.
very cranky.
Someone
Yeah,
comment.
It doesn't take much to make one mad.
Guys,
And if you make one
someone
mad,
actually watched
you're
it.
bound to meet the entire
They comment.
mob.
Oh no,
That's
poor
just what we
connection.
call a herd of
hi.
buffalo
They said hi.
mob.
That looks dope.
But it's
Tell
that
us,
same
tell them I said
mob
what's up.
mentality
Who
that
is
allows
this?
them to ward off predators
Eat
so
cheese.
Every
If
time.
you look off to the right, you'll see another beautiful lavender color way up on that hill to the right side of the trail.
Hey,
And it
I
looks a
eat
lot
cheese.
like
Who
a
are
zebra,
you?
all the way
I
down
think
to those
it's
stripes on
Nicholas.
its legs. But folks, those are no zebra. Those are the Somali
They are
wild
dope.
cats.
I eat cheese. Don't worry.
And that's not a character assessment. That's their real name.
Ah.
You might
nice
notice we have some
dream.
colts
Well,
up there.
thank you.
Shouldn't surprise
Hey,
you to
call
know we're
people.
wildly
Tell
successful
people to
at
see
breeding
this. This is very
the
good.
Somalis.
I'm just a
You know,
subscriber.
Tell people to
unfortunately,
see
they have
this. This is
been
actually
to
pretty cool.
extinction.
Oh, I wanted to tell the animals that what's up. Hey, but
Up to
I got
the
a fan
left,
here
or
that
the
she said, "What's
beautiful
up?"
There's more
African
gazelle right
oryx,
there.
Or the Gemsbok, a little closer view. Yeah.
Donkey.
Those poor Somalis have been hunted into extinction because of the bushmeat trade. But the good news is, we're so successful.
So
with
don't
the
forget to
fact
leave a like.
allow
Oh, there's more giraffes over here in the cage.
into
I
the
don't know
wild.
why.
Look to the left.
think
See
they're
that giraffe
savage.
in the corral?
Yeah.
That's a soon-to-be mom. Yep, she's going to give birth any moment to another beautiful baby Maasai giraffe. Hey, did you know that a giraffe is 6 feet tall at birth? That's right. They fall 6 feet to the ground. Welcome. And they weigh over 200 pounds. Did you
Dang.
know a baby giraffe has to
A
be able to
newborn
stand up
baby
and
weighs
follow its
200
mom within 5 to 20 minutes?
him to He's
That's
not watching
the
no
most
more.
vulnerable time for a giraffe. Is
Some
when it's
people
first
get bored.
born. Yeah, you don't get much time to be lazy when you're a baby giraffe, that's for sure.
Oh, there's another car right there.
Oh, look at this cute little guy to our left.
Oh! Can I get that? Stop running.
He's so
Oh,
cute.
look, there's some two-legged critters moving into our territory. You know, the caravan safari is a wonderful way to get a little closer to the animals, maybe get that perfect photograph. Maybe feed the giraffes or the rhinos.
The way they jump though.
There are quite a few extra experiences that you can do here at the safari park. Some of them cost a little bit more, but you know, when you
Oh,
factor
there's some
in
water.
everything,
Are we gonna see a
it's really a pretty
hippo?
good deal. If
Are
you
we gonna
haven't
see a
made it
hippo?
over to the bird show yet, the bird show is also a wonderful
Oh no,
free
these are birds. These are
experience
ducks.
that you can have here at the safari
Oh.
park. Well, you know what? I like to come to a complete stop up here at the top of the world, as I like to call it. Let you soak in that awesome view to the left, down across the southern valley. That's
Look at
about
the right.
150 acres of open rangeland.
Oh, yeah?
Because animals need space to run and hide and play and jump and love.
Do you have any cool?
And just do all those things that they do naturally. And you know, those are the very words of our founder, Dr. Charles Schroeder. Off to the right, pretty good example of a semi-mountainous and forested area of Africa. We actually have a herd of red-fronted gazelle. I see a couple of them hanging out in the shade over there on the right side of the pond. We have a herd of Zambezi lechwe, and I see a couple of them hanging over here to the left side of the pond. Lechwe is another African word for, well, you guessed it, an antelope-like creature. There are 70 species of antelope in Africa, so as you can imagine, there's several different kinds of names for them. Look at this beautiful all the way to the mountains in the
There we
back.
go.
Oh, down there on the dirt road, I see one of our huge Ankole cows.
Whoever's watching it, tell other people to watch this.
Look
This
at
is
the size of the
really good.
horns on those cows. You know, those horns can be as wide as the tram bench you're sitting on. And even from way up here, looking down at those beautiful Maasai giraffe, boy, you can just get a feel for how huge those animals actually are. They are, of course, the tallest animal on earth.
No people are watching.
Everybody, if you guys wonder what this place
Check
is,
out this candelabra
It's,
aloe to our left. It's the large,
no,
not
I
the
would like
largest
it
of
like
the
this,
aloe,
right?
but you know, in Africa, people will plant candelabra aloe in a giant circle, and they'll use it as a natural corral. Speaking of plants, you know, aloe is a native African plant. There's over 100 species, and I'm sure we grow every one of them here. And a lot of people realize that
That's
we
what I
are
thought.
one of the greatest zoological collections in the world, but not as many people know that we are
Well, there's
also
one person
a
there.
world's
They
recognized
left.
botanical garden as well.
Not that. You should
Dude,
have
this
just
is
done a
hot. I
video.
gotta
Case
put
in
it.
point,
You
look
should've
to your
just done
left.
a
Look at
video,
this
bro.
tree. Don't try and touch it. Does it have thorns on it? Yikes, it sure does. That's an acacia tree from Africa. You know, acacia grows in Africa and Australia.
I mean, I
But
would
the thing
want
that makes
to
African
make
acacia
live
unique
during
is
the
every
whole
one of
my
its
whole
species
trip.
have those
But
thorns
this
associated
road
with
is
either the
hot right now,
branches
so
or
I don't think I
or
can make it.
the leaves. And giraffes eat acacia in the wild. Well, we grow about 5 or 6 different species of acacia tree here. There's a couple, well, there was at least one on the right. I'm going to show you the most
You guys wonder what
massive
this place is? It's in Safari, San Diego.
that I have ever seen. And it's not a massive tree, but look at the thorns on this tree to our right. Yikes. How would you like to have to get your dinner off of that tree? Here's a smaller type of acacia. This one right here to the right. Oh, look at these beautiful animals. We've got quite a few animals to look at to the right. If you look up on the hill, you're seeing a beautiful white antelope. That's the scimitar horned oryx. You know, oryx is another word for antelope. And these guys are from a really hot, deserty part of Africa. So they like to wear their white t-shirts all the time to reflect some of those hot rays of the sun. The scimitar horned oryx was hunted into extinction by the early 1990s in its own homeland. But of course, we've been wildly successful at breeding them. We've had over 500 born right here in the safari park. And if you look up the hill just beyond those white antelope, you'll see a reddish colored. And you thought I was going to say another kind of antelope, didn't you? Well, did I mention there is one species of deer that lives in Africa? And that's it. Up there on that hill, the red Barbary deer. That's right. They're sharing their exhibit with this beautiful white antelope. And so, folks, you can now actually go back to your home, to your friends and family, and tell them that you have definitively been to the place where the deer and the antelope play.
Oh, there, look at those.
Come on.
Show the camera.
Give it to me.
Those are freaking bulls.
There's some more of those giant Ankole cattle. And you know, they're not actually a wild animal, but they were domesticated thousands of years ago from an ancient wild oxen. The Ankole people of Africa herd those Ankole cattle as status symbols. You know, they will never eat their cows. They'll use them for dairy products, but they'll never eat those giant cows. Well, I guess I've driven around this exhibit 1,500 times now, but every time I do, when I look out across that huge expanse of land and all those animals roaming freely, I think to myself, where else but Africa itself or the safari park could you ever witness such a scene?
I'm turning on the camera and I'm going to be like this, and you're going to say, are you going to do it?
You know, Dr. Schroeder was the director of the Balboa Park Zoo.
Are you bored?
So as you can imagine, he made quite a few trips to Africa. In 1959, he came back from Africa with a realization that taking animals from the wild to fill up zoo collections just wasn't right. So he came back to San Diego in 1959 with a vision of creating a huge breeding facility where we could create our own self-sustaining herd of these large African animals.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Well, it took Dr. Schroeder 9 years
That is the biggest higher balloon I ever saw.
Fortunately, he did, and you know, I'm pretty proud to say, since we opened in 1968 as a breeding facility, we've had approximately 40,000 animals born right here at the safari park. And I'd say that's a success story, or better yet, 40,000 success stories.
Look at that hot air balloon down.
Well, we're back in the East Valley now, and you can view the animals in the East Valley on foot from various spots here in the safari park. A great
Especially
spot is up
if
here
you
at
see
Khalifa
it
Point,
in
where our Roaring
person.
Store camp is.
I suggest all of y'all to come over here.
Camp out with us here at the safari park? That's right, we've got a permanent tent camp already set up for you. All you need to bring is your sleeping bag. We'll feed you up a really good dinner and take you on a night hike in the dark through the park by flashlight.
Hey, look, there's another
We're seeing
tram.
some of our reticulated
There's
and
another tram.
Rothschild giraffe now. Ooh, look
There's
how
another car
vulnerable
over
this
here.
giraffe is when he bends
What's
over
up,
the drain.
people?
Yeah. It's kind of hard for them to get all the way down to the ground. Well, to our right, you're going to see one of our newest additions to the safari park, one of our baby giraffes.
Isn't that huge?
Standing
There's a
right
baby
up there
giraffe
next to
at the
that
right.
those three trees grouped together with his mom, Shani. That's Shafari. No, Shafira. I always say it wrong. It means distinguished one in Swahili.
Her mom and his son.
What a beautiful little giraffe. She's currently our celebrity.
Now we have a
She's
messed
our
up tree.
celebrity giraffe all the way until our next one is born. Yeah. Shafira was 6 feet tall when she was born, weighed about 200 pounds, fell 6 feet to the ground. I wonder why. Well, if you look at the distance from the ground to the bottom of mom's tummy, that's about 6 feet. So you gotta be that tall to be able to drink your milk. Did you guys figure out the one thing that all these mammals have in common we've been looking at today? Well, you probably figured it out. They all have hooves. That's right, they're all ungulates. Yeah, ungulates are mammals that traded in their paws for hooves. And it's true, ungulates walk on their tiptoes.
Alright guys, peace
You
out.
see, their toes have adapted to